Hey friend, it's Matt Potratz back with you this week. As we approach Thanksgiving, hope you take the time to evaluate your life and calculate all that you had to be thankful for. Every one of us has something to be thankful for. Even that being said though, some of us may also be facing difficult circumstances. But no matter where you're at, I hope you'll simply say, I choose thankful. And as you feed yourself some awesome food this week, as I hope you do, I ask you to take some time to ask yourself, which dog am I feeding? The following story, based on a Native American proverb, explains what I mean when I say that. A tribal elder is teaching his grandson about life. A fight is going on inside me, he says to the boy. It's a terrible fight, and it's between two dogs. One is evil. He is anger, sorrow, envy, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. He continues, the other is good. He is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. The same fight is going on inside you and inside every other person too. The grandson thought about it for a minute and then asked his grandfather, which dog will win? The chief simply replied, the one you feed. And I so much believe that this concept is true. Inside all of us, there is bad and there is good. A good dog and a bad dog. The unfortunate part is that I believe that if we do nothing to feed either dog, the bad dog will win because it's typically the strongest dog from the time we were born. I say that because I believe in what the Bible says, and it describes the natural stance of man to be a sinful nature, and even states that we were born into sin. The historical backing for that statement goes back to Adam and Eve, the first humans. And in the beginning, humankind had done nothing wrong, and our kind was therefore perfect. God instructed Adam and Eve that they could eat from any tree in the Garden of Eden except the one in the middle, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. But they couldn't resist when tempted by the serpent, Satan, and ate of the tree, giving up their perfection and starting mankind down a path full of sin puddles and lakes. So since that day, man has been born into sin, with the bad dog already having an edge. However, there is a remedy. Simply starve the bad dog and feed all you have to the good dog. The bad dog will unfortunately never die, because he's sure to get some table scraps from us in those moments when we slip up. But if we keep the bad dog's portions to a minimum, he or she will likely be too weak to be effective in causing problems in our lives. Most of us likely agree that the bad dog traits suggested by the proverb, anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego will never produce an overall positive outcome. Instead, they leave behind a trail of debris as if a tornado has passed, and when you look around, you'll see injured bystanders, including family and friends. On the flip side, it's very difficult to suggest that the good dog traits, joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith could ever have a negative effect on our lives. So the question remains, which dog will you feed? Will you live a life that enhances the traits of the bad dog in you? Or will you nourish the good dog? It really comes down to a choice. There's food available to you for both dogs, and they don't share the same food. Which food will you invest your time, money, and effort in? Often the sale price and fancy packaging on the bad dog food looks quite tempting, but don't forget that when you open that package and turn the good dog away with its raunchy smell, you'll later wish that you just paid the price up front for the food your good dog needs. This week, as you enjoy the holiday, I challenge you to ask yourself with an honest answer, which dog am I feeding? And if you're feeding the bad dog, will you begin to lessen the portions on the journey to eventually starving the bad dog and feeding the good in you? And if you're already feeding the good dog, my challenge to you is examine your portions and feeding schedule. Are you maximizing the ability of that dog in you by maximizing the distribution of life's nutrients? Friend, let's be those that feed the good dog.